This segment with Rob Bolton on the U.S. Open. Emery Winter, who has designated himself as Mr. Golf, has joined us on the set. Again, thanks to Rob Bolton, PGA Tour Golf Insider. And you can go to @RobBoltonGolf, Bolton with an O-N, Golf on Twitter. Good afternoon. I won the PGA Championship when Schauffele's putt went in. I edged Craig Smoke by a stroke. And you, as you always are, you still publicize the results because normally you win.
First of all, Emery's humility is fascinating. I got to tell you. Mr. Golf, like that. Good for him. He won the Open, or no, he won the U.S. Open last year. Yeah, so he does have a little bit of street cred. Look forward to his challenge this week. Secondly, David, congratulations. First time we've spoken since you took the title at Valhalla. How does it feel? Seriously, how does it feel?
It felt good because I've had one hell of a drought that might go back to the first time we ever started having you on when it came to major championships. And not only that, but like 46 under par or whatever it might have been because I got lucky with my picks and Craig was right behind me. It was nice to win. It does take a little pressure off of me, but I'm still focused and razor sharp for Pinehurst in the U.S. Open.
You are the target this week. You understand that. A lot of heat on you.
I am Scotty Scheffler in this. I am Scotty Scheffler.
I love it.
Or maybe that police officer's pants. I don't know. One of the two. I am the focus of attention.
Rob, I'm going to ask you this. Do you think that Scotty gets arrested if that guy doesn't rip and or mess his pants?
Maybe he should get arrested. Is that what you're getting at? Is that what you're
like
leaning
maybe
toward?
Scotty doesn't get it. Like if the pants thing doesn't happen, I think this is a non-story.
No, God,
that's my
that's my
theory.
Finished T8.
Yeah,
that's a good theory.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he still finished T8 with his hands tied behind his back. You guys realize that?
Yes, yes,
it's true.
Absolutely, with his hands tied behind it. Yeah. That and all the audio, the video, it's just unbelievable. All that's come out as well. So, but he also just won Memorial and was a horribly tough final round, and he was able to survive that. And speaking of which, before we get to the picks, and I know we got to get to the picks, how difficult, I've seen videos, Paul's brought them up, dropping a ball like 15 feet off the edge of a green. I know Pinehurst in the past has been deadly. How slick are these greens and how difficult are the undulations?
Guys, I'm holding my breath for the USGA not to let this thing get out of control and not to mess it up. They've done it too many times in the past. Oh, my gosh. Martin Keimer with what he did in 2014 was one thing, but now we have 10 years later with the Bermuda grass greens. First time ever a U.S. Open has had Bermuda grass, which is
I didn't know that. Okay.
Nevertheless, that'll be better. It's a heat tolerant strain, so these things should be kept in control. And look, if they are, that's a giant if, but if they are, this could be a really compelling and tremendous competition on a course that deserves it, right?
Yep.
Pinehurst, number 2. It deserves it. And so, yeah, now we hold our breath and to see what happens with these greens. USGA has an ego. I'm not saying it's negative, but how big is it? Because the first round usually is okay, right? The first round, a little bit of a tease, maybe see a couple 66s, that type of thing. And then the USGA says, now remember, this is the U.S. Open.
Yep.
Sit down and shut up, and let's go on and let's play the rest of this thing. So, yes, the greens are about average in size, 6,500 square feet, but they play much smaller than that. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if you come out of this thing with one guy saying, I actually was aiming at a green to miss the green so that I had an easier chip than it running off. I mean, I don't know. That seems ridiculous and ludicrous, but it depends on how these things play. Hopefully, I mean, the ego of the golfers too, right? They don't want to be aiming. It's not like you want to lay up on a par 3, but I mean, to get the par in the U.S. Open, there's merit to that, especially if par is going to be a really good score, which it will be, of course.
I know it depends on the heat. You said the conditions of the greens with what you mentioned with Bermuda. Real quick, how many players do you think, if this thing is set up the way it normally would be at Pinehurst, not where they trick it up, where you end up seeing guys just digging themselves out of the rough sideways, how many players do you think might end up breaking par?
Let's see. I put the over-under on 4.5.
Okay, I think that's a good number. We've had anywhere from none to about 5 with those of us who are on the show and also in the chat room. All right, I'm making an
I just have confidence in the USGA understanding how important this is, that they don't mess it up. That's where I am.
All right, Garrett, I need you to give me – hold on. Give me numbers 1 through 4. I put a number next to 4 people that are doing this, Emery, Rob, Paul, and me. And I'm not picking the number. You don't know the number, so pick a number between 1 and 4.
Number 2.
Number 2, Rob gets the number 1 pick. That's dangerous when he's a secretariat of what we do. All right, give me another number.
Number 4.
4 is Paul. Gets Koepka at the number 2 pick.
Well, we don't know about that. We don't know. We'll see.
You and –
Oh.
All right.
We'll see.
All right, then it's 4 or it's
let's
either
go number
4.
3 and then 1.
All right, I'm 3. God, I hate that position, but that's where I won the PGA Championship. Emery is going to get the first double pick. All right, here we go. Rob Bolton, you have Scotty Scheffler.
And I owe Garrett a steak dinner.
There you go. Golly, that's for how he's playing, how efficient he is with his irons and just the way, man. All right, number 2, Paul.
Scotty Scheffler, final answer, just for the record.
I'm going to take I know he's 4 on your list, but he's now back in wedded bliss. I'm going Rory McIlroy.
Oh, yeah, he's that thing's
There's the
off
honeymooner.
The yeah. Yeah, boy, he's in a drought, that 10-year. It's amazing how long these younger guys that look like they're going to win 8 to 10 majors. I mean, even Tiger had a drought for like 10 years, as good as he was at number 2. Okay, I have the 3 pick. I will take, my God, I'm going to take Morikawa. He seems to play kind of like, I forgot the way Retief Goosen used to play tough courses, big-time courses. I'm going to take Morikawa at 3, and Emery, you get back-to-back.
For my back-to-back choices, I'm going to go Xander and then Bryson.
DeChambeau for Emery, and also the PGA champion, Xander Schauffele. Back to me. I'm taking Koepka.
Be my guest.
Yeah. I mean, he's a little wild for me, but I'm going to take Koepka. He also seems to win on pretty hard courses to play. All right, back to you, Paul.
Mostly because I know he likes him, I'm taking Victor Hovland so that Emery doesn't get him.
He started playing, remember last time we picked the PGA, he wasn't, it seemed like he was a little out of whack. Rob, you get back-to-back picks, sir.
Well, Hovland wasn't going to last another pick, so he actually took my guy. I don't know how that happened. He's number 8 in the power rankings. There's still 2 guys ahead of him. But as these things go, I gotta move on. So let's roll with okay. So the cut this week is low 60 in ties, 156-man field, hardest golf course likely going to be played this season. It's going to be really difficult. The format of your game is paramount. You have to make the cut, otherwise nothing else matters.
Yep.
So the cut is the goal, and I'll let everything else after that figure itself out. So I'm going to stick with the power rankings and go with Matt Fitzpatrick.
There you go.
2022 U.S. Open champion.
All right,
and then
you get another one.
Yeah. So let's have some fun and ride the young guy, Ludwig Aubert.
Yeah, there we go. All right, so Scheffler, Fitzpatrick, and Aubert right now for Rob Bolton. Paul, back to you. Everyone gets 4 picks.
Yeah. I will take. Who did he take? He took
Fitzpatrick and Aubert.
Okay. Then I'll take Theegala.
Theegala. That was my guy. He helped me win the PGA Championship, okay?
Yeah,
I will go with Fleetwood with my third pick. Again, I'm now trying to make sure we make the cut here. Emery, back-to-back picks.
I'm going a little aggressive. I'm gonna go Minwoo Lee, and then I'm also going to go with Aaron Rai.
Oh, Aaron Rai. Very neat. Now, I saw a couple of people thinking he might be a dark horse or at least get himself in contention. Man, this is when I want to take a guy like Cantley, but he hasn't played that great. Cam Smith, of course, but I'm going to go with a grinder. And I know he had a terrible tournament recently, but I'm going to go with Lowry because I just like the guy. That's out of nowhere, maybe, but I'm going to take Lowry. Paul, you're next.
Okay. Took Lowry.
There's somebody I can't believe he's not been picked.
I'm torn right now between Tony Finau and Hideki Matsuyama. I'm torn. And I really, really love Tony Finau. He's one of my favorite players to watch.
Is this like a four-corner North Carolina stall?
I'm gonna. Okay, you know what? I'm going to take Finau.
Okay,
I'm going to take Finau.
Now, we had Paxton in the chat, Rob, before we get to your last pick, ask about Tony Finau, your thoughts about him.
Love him. Yeah, I don't think he'll win, but to contribute to this, no-brainer. He would have been my pick if Aubert wasn't there. Loved him at that point.
Okay.
And now I can't take him at all. Finau has been a little bit off the radar, but when we're talking about these guys who we expect greatness from and they're not producing it regularly enough, we think that there's something wrong. Ain't nothing wrong with Tony Finau. Does it all. Masterful short game. People, I think, overlook that. That's fair because he's such a long hitter and he does so many things really well. But he's also at a point in his life where this tournament's going to yield somebody who's probably won a major before, somebody in his prime, somebody of a certain age. I don't see youth really playing well. Aubert is a flyer for me, and I wanted to have some fun and invest in him and see what happens. He's a special case, but Finau checks all of the other boxes. Plus, he makes most cuts, and so in this format, that's a tremendous pick.
But you don't think he'll win, right? He would have to have an extra special week.
Tony Finau presents better to win the PGA Championship, where par isn't as respected. He ends up being a guy who takes it low once or twice and kind of hang on. He's not the grinder necessarily, despite how the analytics present for him. You could also see him contending at the Masters as he did a couple of years ago. Well, how many years ago now when Tiger won? 5 years now, So it's one of those things where, the U.S. Open doesn't present as a tournament where he's going to win. He's number 9 on my power ranking, so my confidence is very high. So top 10 would be fair.
Okay, you get the last pick, sir.
Well, this will send Paul into a cardiac arrest, but I'm actually going to take a guy who we'll send Paul in this is a guy who used to be a familiar face in this draft. And lo and behold, he's made 10 consecutive cuts in the majors. He's a guy we consider to be a grinder, and now he's with Live Golf, where he's in a better place, apparently, despite the fact that he's always been a terrific player, is Tyrrell Hatton. He is my last pick.
No.
Make the cut.
I want him to be mic'd for the entire tournament. Makes a putt, misses a putt. He needs to be mic'd, and the network will be sued for that because he's a hothead. But I love watching him play, and you know what? He's fearless too. All right, Rob, you see the 4 picks of each of us. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think most of these guys speak for themselves. That's for sure. Obviously, I dug into Aubert there a little bit. With Aaron Rai, Emery going with Minwoo Lee, which I really want to endorse that guy. He's I don't believe in somebody being due, but I'm waiting for something really memorable from him this year. And it hasn't happened yet. This is the opportunity for him. But I think Aaron Rai is the better pick of those two head-to-head. Rai is my top 20 sleeper at 4.5 to 1
Okay.
for a top 20. So I've been on board with him. And then Shane Lowry is my outright sleeper at 80-1 to win this thing. And there's a lot of reasons for that, but former winner this year, former major champion in the right time of his life, P6 at the PGA. So that's a great pick in the last round. Yeah, this is the thing about the U.S. Open. I mean, you would think that we go into these major drafts and there's so many obvious picks and we leave a lot of guys, a lot of low-hanging fruit, a lot of meat on the bone. It doesn't feel like that today, does it? There's just so many question marks because Pinehurst is such a giant question mark. It's a little bit like the Players' Championship. We kind of sit down and we hold on and we hope because the course usually wins that tournament. It's so indiscriminate. Pinehurst sets up the same way, and it has all these question marks because we haven't seen it in 10 years and all the things we talked about earlier. So this is one of those weeks where I think it wouldn't surprise me. I know it wouldn't surprise you guys if none of us end up winning the thing because one of us will have all of us will have at least one guy who misses a cut.
Somebody will go out and shoot like an 80 in one of the rounds. And we don't know how disastrous it might be or how the USGA sets it up. If they want to be mean, then, we could all have a bunch of like a bad chemistry exam like I had in high school that had a bunch of red on it, and it was an F. Rob, thank you very much. Pinehurst, number 2, a great track, a wonderful place for the Open to be, and we've seen the videos of them having the ball just trickle into, and there's waste areas like everywhere. Yeah.
A little bit like Whistling Straits back in the day. Guys got to be careful.
Yep. Rob, thank you very much, buddy. Appreciate your time. We'll be in touch. Rob, by the way, at Rob Bolton Golf on Twitter. We'll put up our teams and the daily scoreboard and leaderboard after each of the 4 rounds, and of course at the end as well.
What is it you like most about golf? Is it the walk? The friendships? Is it buying overpriced clubs? At Sticks, we believe golf is for everyone, and good clubs should be within your reach. Welcome to the new wave, to the inclusive club. Welcome to Team Sticks.